Hi there, my name's Tim Irwin. I run a small shop called Cigar Hot Rods. We build gassers and we build door cars, street cars, do some semi-professional bracket race work, all kinds of odds and ends, tin work, chassis work, rear end setups. In my lifetime, I've had to depend on the hard way to find things out in regards to couldn't turn on a self-help video and figure out how to bend a tube or notch a tube or do all this other stuff. I'm going to try to share some of the things that I've used in my lifetime to make projects a little bit simpler. Share tips and tricks with y'all. Show you how I build cars, why I do what I do, try to explain it as best as I can, and we'll answer any questions if anybody has them. But my thoughts is to try to share a little bit of the knowledge that I've learned over my 50 plus years of working on hot rods. So I'm employed by Mosier Engineering. I'm the research and development director there, and I've been building race cars at some point professionally for most of my life. I worked in 2 chassis shops for about 10 years professionally, managing shops, so I know a little bit about race cars. I'm not saying I know a lot, I know a little bit. But my thoughts is if I can share some of the things that I've learned in my travels with you, it might make your project a little bit easier. I'm in Portland, Indiana. That's where my shop's at. I've got a couple guys that help me part-time. And trust me, I do this part-time, not full-time. This is just for fun. Once it stops being fun, it stops being a shop. So I think what I'll do now is I'll show you around the shop a little bit, show you some of the projects I've got going on. Maybe I can explain them a little bit to you. The first one we have here is a 1960 Ford Falcon. I'm building this for a friend of mine, Larry Cummings, and myself are going to try to campaign this thing in the Southeast Gassers. It's going to be a small block Chevrolet, high tower 4-speed transmission. It's all chrome moly roll cage, 9-inch Ford rear end from Mosier, of course. We're going to try to leave the patina on the car, try to leave it as nice as possible, or not as nice as possible. So crusty's good. This truck over here is a square body S10 that I'm doing for Ken Bear. His son Chris will run it, and Randy Shire, and it was previously built by somebody else, and I'm just doing a little bit of TLC to it, trying to make it a little bit better inside, more user-friendly. It's a small block Power Glide truck. We've remounted the motor. I'm remounting the front end in it. New fuel cell up front. A lot of tin work. So the third project I've got up front in the shop is a 51 Henry J. This thing, we've done extensive sheet metal repair to it, and that's something I won't share a lot with you, because there's lots of guys out there that are good at repairing sheet metal with good tips and tricks. So if it is part of the project that I'm working on to help you through your process, I'll show you. But other than that, I'm just going to kind of let this stuff go because it's sort of boring, to be honest with you. But it's been new rockers, the B pillars, A pillars were junk. These parts here where the fenders bolt on, they were all completely rotted out. The back end of the car was rotted out. We've replaced all that stuff just so we could get it ready to put on top of this jig and start building the chassis. This will also be a gasser, manual transmission, big block Chevrolet car. And I will show you step by step as I work through this project. As I said before, the Falcon, it's probably 2/3 done. So I'll show you tips and tricks, how I mount the pedals, what I do with steering, stuff like that in this car. But the Henry J, I'll show you setting the frame rails and everything else. The last project we have is back in the back of my shop. It's a 57 Chevrolet. This one here was really rusty, to say the least. We use the tops of the doors, the roof, and the cowl. The rest of the car is brand new. And it was, been patched 2 or 3 times and done poorly. Floors rotted out of it. And it's, we'll call it a frame off because we cleaned the frame and moved the springs in so we could get a bigger tire underneath it and mini tubs. This basically like a 327 with a turbo 350 in it. Nothing special, just a super nice street car. Guy's owned this car for it's either 34 or 38 years. And it's his baby, so he's extremely happy with the way it's going together. Like I say, nothing special under here, just trying to get it put together enough that he can run it down the road. So the shop that I'm working in was built in 1889, and it was the first newspaper in Portland, Indiana. This is where the newspaper was set up, and my father-in-law owned it since 1977, I believe. And it was a pool hall and a card room. Had a small kitchen in the front of it, and this is how he made his living. And it was called the City Cigar Store. That's why I call this Cigar City Hot Rods, just in remembrance to him. He was a good man to me, good man to his daughter. So anyways, you can see a little bit about what we got going on here. I'm going to try to get this uploaded. Please excuse my ignorance when it comes to videoing. I'm brand new to this stuff. I can't even hardly get it uploaded to the laptop. So I'll get this done, and hopefully I'll be sharing something with you soon. Thanks for watching.